I want to make a video about sitting alone in silence. Sitting alone in silence. I talked about this in maybe 2 videos. I just made a video about it. Is to sit alone in silence. What happens when you sit alone in silence? What happens? It doesn't feel very good, does it? It probably worries you to even think about it. Well, there's a pretty big major reason for why sitting alone in silence is scary to you, because stimulation. When you, especially nowadays, the generations that are in this era of time are being stimulated way more than they ever have been, ever. You got television, you have sugary snacks, you have these entertainment that is flooding out of our computers and out of our televisions at such a fast rate, coming at the touch of a button. Food that is instant, right? The stimulation is immense. And when it's not coming to you at any given time, when you can't look at your phone and check Facebook, when you're waiting at the bus stop or whatever, when you can't watch TV or you're in the woods, you're camping, right? That feeling is the lack of that stimulation. Now that's very unhealthy. Part of being a person is to exist with nature, right? I'm not saying throw away, you see all these videos of people saying throw away your phone, get rid of your telephone. I'm not saying that. There's no real reason that we should give those things up. Technology is fine. There's nothing wrong with technology. But it is important to learn how to exist without it. If you cannot exist without it, then you are stripped of humanity. You have no humanity left if you are unable to sit in silence and not be doing anything. If you can't sit and not be doing anything, then there's something wrong with your humanity. You are out of touch. Because you are existing as a head, not a body. You are existing as a head that constantly needs stimulus, and you're walking on a machine that brings you places whenever you need it. And that's unhealthy. To not have to be doing this or watching a TV or whatever it is that you're watching, not eating, to not be doing something with your friends, to just be alone and to relax and to take in. Now, what's the problem with this? Why is this such a problem? Well, the problem with it, and why is this problem occurring? It's because of the stimulation, but it's also because now you have gaps in your heart. There are gaps in your heart because you are pulling away from your touch with nature. Imagine 200 years ago, 300 years ago, what did people do? Oh, I don't know what they did. Oh, their lives were boring. Their lives weren't boring. No, their lives were just like ours, in a way. Because they didn't know what it's like to have all these fancy things that we have. They could sit alone by the candlelight and just talk. Not need anything else. They could just sit there and think. And if they needed something to do, they could go wash the clothes, do all these things, and that was stimulating. Go hunt, whatever it may be. But because we're adding on all these different things throughout time, especially in this era, it is becoming increasingly difficult to just sit and to be alone and to not worry, to not think, because we also have a lot of new responsibilities. A lot of new responsibilities. You got your credit cards, you got your car insurance, you got this, you got that, you got this and that. You got to take care of your kids, you got to take care of whatever it may be. So many different things. You have a list a mile long of the things you have to do nowadays. And what we want to do is to just distract ourselves, pour in. But as you slowly start to do that, you lose touch. As I said, you're ahead. And you start losing touch with your heart. And as you lose touch with your heart, you lose your humanity. And as you lose your humanity, you have an inability to just be in touch with nature. You can't even go outside for a walk without needing to check your phone. Why? Because you're empty. You're empty. Because of all these different distractions. It is to learn to not need distractions. There's something within us. After all the layers, there's tons and tons of layers of things put on upon us. The ideas we're receiving from other people, the opinions we're receiving from other people, the ideas of what we should do with our life, all these big questions, all these big responsibilities, as I said before. being packed onto us, and it's squeezing our heart and our humanity away. Learn. Start practicing it. Like anything else, you need to practice it. Is to just sit and be alone. Listen to the silence. Don't put on any music. Don't put on anything. I mean, you can have ambient noise, but just... And as you, the longer and the longer and the longer you stay in that silence of not doing anything and not distracting yourself because you're trying to fill holes in your heart, you will start to feel layers coming off. The is starting to float off into the space. And as those parts start to come off, it's a warning. More of who you are is going to start to release. Just like when you cleanse, when you do a body cleanse, where you start drinking water only or juice only, and you're cleansing out your insides from all the shit you've eaten over the years, the same thing will happen to your mind and your heart. You'll start to cleanse the mind, right? But as you cleanse anything, just like when you cleanse your body with the juice fast or whatever it may be, you'll notice that that shit starts coming out of you and you feel sick, but you're really just cleansing. Well, the same thing happens with your mind. You'll be cleansing your mind just as you're cleansing your body, but the shit's gonna come out. So what are you gonna feel? You're gonna feel depression. You're gonna feel anxiety of being alone and not doing it. I need something to do. But that's just it coming out. Let it come out. Let that anxiety and depression fucking come out. Because that's what's happening. It's not staying with you. Because as soon as you feel it, you're gonna be like, I need my phone. I need something. My food, whatever it may be. Friend, you start texting your friends, whatever. Just exist and let those layers peel away, and whatever feelings may come out, let them be, because that's yourself being re-exposed to your humanity. I have nothing else to say.